All right, I'm here with Kyle Sheets, who's actually my father-in-law, who graciously agreed to do this interview with us. And would you mind sharing some of your
Sure.
background?
Kyle Sheets. I founded a medical company about 20 years ago, Concord Medical Group. We provide emergency room and hospitalist services to hospitals. It's now grown to where we're in 10 states. We take care of over 100 hospitals. We have, I think, 90 or more employees. And in addition to that, we have about over 1,500 doctors that work for us. And so the company's grown. It's been very successful. I'm now at a point in my career where I've backed up. I've relinquished the CEO position to a lady that has done an unbelievable job for our company and has certainly deserves it. And she's done a great job over the last year. So now I'm carry the title of chairman and founder of the company.
Okay, awesome. So you've had a long career at this point. So what's a piece of advice you would give to a new leader?
I think a new leader, the thing that was hard for me early on was to realize that not every employee wants to have the same attitude about the company that I have. I'm an entrepreneur. It's my baby. I'm going to do whatever it takes to make it successful. I want to be the owner. I want to be in charge. Not everyone wants that. And my impression was that anybody I hired would want to go in that direction. Mm-hmm. But there are a lot of people that are fantastic employees, and all they want to do is come in at 8 o'clock and leave at 5 o'clock. Mm-hmm. And there's nothing wrong with that. In fact, you need people like that to fill many, many, many positions. And for me to back up and realize that not everyone wants to push the way I do, and many people just want a job. Doesn't mean they're going to do a bad job. They may do a fantastic job, but they just want a job.
Yeah.
And that's okay.
Yeah.
And so I think as a leader, recognizing that and being able to determine which people want to move up into management and which people just want a job, that's pretty important.
Yeah. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Maybe this kind of dovetails with that, but what do you know now that you wished you had known earlier in your career?
I think it's important every day to be involved with your people. You don't necessarily have to. You certainly don't want to do things for them. I think it's very important to turn people loose, let them have enough reign to make some of their own mistakes and develop their own ways of doing things. Otherwise, the company's going to be so dependent on you, it'll never really be able to operate without you. Mm-hmm. And so I think that was a learning curve for me early on, but to realize I needed to move toward hiring people that had skills I did not have and had talents I did not have, and turn them loose and let them make some mistakes, not just micromanage them to the point that they couldn't feel any breathing room. And then what you end up developing is a great company, people that are, you don't want yes people, you want mm-hmm. people that'll stand up to you and say, you're crazy, that's a bad idea, and you want to be able to argue with them and come to a conclusion. You certainly don't want to be surrounded by people that just agree with everything you say.
Yeah, for sure. So what in your mind would you classify as the most defining leadership behavior, something that makes a great leader?
I think having a servant mentality. And for me, that's it goes back to my faith. I think that's exemplified mostly in the life of Jesus Christ. I think more than anything, we're here to serve people. In the healthcare industry, I remind our people we're here to serve patients. It's not because we're the fancy doctors and they should look up to us. We're here to serve them. And when we lose sight of that, then we've lost the company. And I think we've really developed a good culture that responds to that, and we serve each other. We we don't believe in too much of a pyramid type system where we have open communication and anyone in the company feels free to talk to me and vice versa. And it's worked extremely well.
Yeah, that's awesome. So, in all the success that you've had, how do you achieve a work-life balance? And do you have any tips?
I think that's a great question, and I think I have 10 children, and so that magnifies the difficulty of that question even more. But they're all grown; they've all done great, and but during their younger years when they were at home. You have to learn to say no. You have to learn to say no to certain opportunities. You have to learn to say no to when you're starting and growing a business, you could spend every waking hour of every single day doing it. That would be a mistake. It will chew you up and spit you out. And no matter how successful you are, if you fail your wife and your family, you failed as a man. And so I think it's very important to keep things in balance, to just make sure every day that you're doing the things that are most important, which may not be growing a business and making money.
Yeah, sure. Yep. What are things that you've done to encourage creative thinking within Concord?
Well, I'm kind of an outside the box thinker myself. I have some pretty significant dyslexia, so I don't read well. I've had to learn how to learn things differently than most people. There's some advantages to that. It helps me to sort through a problem pretty quickly without reading a lot of memos about it, without looking at a lot of data. And so I like for people to, I don't like to put people in a box. And when I hire people, I don't want to describe their job. I don't want to say, here's the box, here's the job for you, and we're going to cram you into that box and make you fit. Rather, I like to find out what their attributes are, what their talents are, what their strengths are, and we're gonna let them try to play to those strengths, and we're gonna find jobs that they are well suited for. And we find out that they're not really the best at this particular area, we'll move them into an area where maybe they can really thrive. And what that does, you end up with people that are happy with their job, but also people that are very productive and good at their job. When you cram them into boxes, no one ends up happy. Yeah. It's more like a prison. And so we don't want that. And we want them to feel the freedom to make suggestions. Here's how the company could be better. Here's how you could do a better job. Here's how we as a company could improve this or that. You want to hear those things. You want to hear the criticisms. It's very important.
Yeah, you mentioned a little bit about that hiring process. So when you're looking at prospective employees, what are specific attributes that you look for, and how do you assess like how strong those attributes are?
Well, and here again, I'm a bit on the unusual side. When someone has a higher degree, whether it be a college degree, an MBA, or PhD, the higher the degree, the more skeptical I am, because much of their book learning may have sent them down the wrong road. Now, I think there are some excellent programs that don't do that, but I'm not looking for a degree. I'm looking for a person who has attributes of character, honesty, good ethics, team player, someone who is willing to work hard. I don't even care if they don't know how to do the job. We've trained lots of people with no knowledge or skills. And in fact, Ashley, our CEO of a company that probably has been valued at $120 million, her attributes, she had been a waitress before. And she began as an hourly employee as my assistant. And then she developed from that over the years, kept moving up to higher and higher positions. But her ability to think on her feet, to make decisions, to grab the bull by the horns and get things done was just phenomenal. And she has earned the position of chief executive officer of a very large company.
Yeah, that's awesome. So maybe in closing, maybe I'll finish with this question. What resources would you recommend to someone who's looking to develop as a leader?
Well, I think that's a good question because for a lot of people, it's just day-to-day life. I mean, learning how to love your spouse well, learning how to take care of your children, how to be there, present in their activities, and not that we always feel like we're good at those things or have the right skills to do it, but just deciding I'm going to be there. And so a lot of times being a leader is not that you figured everything out and you know everything, but you're going to stay in that position and you're going to work till you get it accomplished, till you're able to get things done. And I think a real quality of a leader is when things go wrong, you need to tend to take the blame. If I have a key employee that we have to fire, terminate, we've made a mistake. We were at fault hiring them in the first place. We probably didn't, or maybe we didn't develop them properly. But I always make the assumption that we made a mistake. And I tell our key management people, that's the case. We made a mistake. If things go right and things really are successful with the company, the leader should not toot his own horn and say, look what I did. It should be, these people did this. All of the people in this company did this. And so it's like Bear Bryant used to say at Alabama, when they lost, it was his fault. And when they won, it was the boys' fault, the team's fault. Yeah. They did it. Yeah. And I think if you have and not just that you say that, but that you really feel that in your heart, I think that is a key to really having people willing to follow you.
Yeah, yeah, makes a lot of sense. That's a lot of good content. So thanks so much for the time. I appreciate it.
You bet.